Hey everyone, my name is Kostas and welcome back to Legal Talk, where we provide general legal information for the everyday landlord. Today, we're going over the N8, how to use it and when to use it. The N8 is a notice to end tenancy at the end of the term. For this video, we're going to go over the basic and most common use of the form, which is for tenant persistently paying their rent late. Since all the other reasons are rarely used, we may be covering those in another segment. So let's get into things. If your tenant is continuously paying rent later than the agreed upon date in your lease agreement, you can serve them with an N8 selecting reason 1 for persistent late rent payment. In order for this to be effective, you must really be able to prove a track record of late rent with no likely signs of improvement. When filling out the form, as usual, make sure to fill out the correct tenant information, the landlord info, and address in the indicated space on the form. Keep the names and address consistent with what is in your lease agreement. The termination date must be 60 days after the date served and must be the last date of the rent cycle. This applies to any tenancy that is month to month. Always remember to add an extra 5 days if serving by mail. Alternatively, you can serve this in person. Now, this is important to remember. If your tenant is on a lease term, you cannot set a termination date earlier than the final date indicated in the lease agreement. If you do, your application will be dismissed. Next thing to do is include some details about your notice. Under the reasons section, you will include as many specifics as possible and include any reference to payment arrangements. Indicate when rent is due, the dates the tenant paid the rent, the amount the tenant failed to pay, and what periods those payments were for. If things escalate to a tribunal, you want to have documentation supporting the details in your description. Finally, at the bottom of the form, fill out your name, number, and date of service. Don't forget to complete a certificate of service in case you need to go through a tribunal. Let's talk about expectations. In our experience, it is extremely rare to be granted a standard order the first hearing. The adjudicators often rule to give the tenant a period of time to correct their actions and start paying the rent on time. You really need to have a strong case in order for this to work. So don't take it to the tribunal for only 2 rent payments. Be patient and try to work things out with your tenants first. If you document your cooperation, it will go a long way if you do go to trial. In the event you find yourself at the tribunal and are unable to successfully mediate with your tenant and come to an agreement, you will want to make sure that you have a provision for a Section 78, which will allow the landlord to apply for termination of the tenancy without hearing by filing an L4B. If you want to know more about a Section 78, please check out our other videos. All right, everyone, I hope this has helped you understand how to properly use an N8 form. If you have any questions, contact us through the information, all linked in the description below. Follow our socials and subscribe to our channel.